one under each arm. And he stopped that train. And do you know what the name of that man was?
No!
Oh! Ladies and gentlemen, C5 Oak 4. Owner.
Woo!
Okay, so many of us, this is our last year at camp. And also for most of us, we've been coming here for 5 years or even more. And so we just want to start out this closing campfire speech just talking about all the changes we've seen going on in camp.
Okay, so I've been here for the least time out of all of us, 2 years. And so not much has actually changed since I've been here. But one thing that's made a major impact on this year, it's changed from last year to this year, is the staff. A lot of new staff members come in from all over the world to camp, and it's always a new experience because of them. Each staff member is really unique and has something to offer, and I think that's something that makes camp really special and different every year, and it keeps camp really exciting.
Woo!
Junkyard, and the craft shack had 2 crafts: ancient bracelet making and tie-dye.
Oh, yeah.
And things have changed a lot. So we had, before the really fancy duck showers, there was only one duck shower. And what you had to do was you had to jump out of the lake, run, because you didn't want to slip, and then you had to plop into the duck shower that had water filled with duck sweat and coli. Then you had to jump back out, which probably would have to get more duck on you, and then you just rub off and then go on your merry way. And now we have the fantastic duck showers. Thank you. And also, back then, remember when there was a different P chord for each level? I'm Bea. This is my 6th summer at camp, and I remember my first summer was the first summer of the mud pit.
Yeah.
It was really fun until you had to get out, because then there was no possible way, because there were no ropes until the 2nd week, and you had to struggle to pull yourself out of the mud, and it was like it was pulling you back in every time you tried to get out. And then we came back and there were a lot of dead frogs, so we just canceled. And I remember my first summer, when we went to Hammock Village, most everybody had to sit on the ground because there were basically only 3 hammocks.
In my first year, I remember when there actually were hammocks in Hammock.
Yeah!
All right, cool. So, I've been at camp for 7 years, and I remember one of my first years, we had primitive fire making.
Yeah!
Flint and steel, and what we had to do. And I remember we had this one counselor, her name was like Star Child or something, bird. And it was like a little terrier too, it was a little guy, but I just remember going there, and we had to make this little thing, and it was a nest, and put the cardboard in the nest, the pine needles and whatnot, and you'd light it on fire, hold it in your hand, and say, I am a man and I've made fire. And I made mine on fire way before anybody else did, and I held a fireball in my hand, and and he changed that a lot, but I still remember that from my first years.
I'm Madison. This is also my 7th year as a camper, and it's either I think it's my 2nd or 3rd year, and that's when each village started having its own like area, the Cedar Grotto and the Oak Den and the Pine Lair, and Manzi was like, we need a place too, so we started the Manzi Shire. We made, I don't know if you guys, probably all been to Manzi, but there's that area with like cement and rocks, and we did that. And then the middle, instead of the charcoal fire pit it is now, there were a bunch of flowers. It was really beautiful. And then night and woke up in the morning and all the flowers were eaten by deer. They were all gone. Besides the little like green stems, so that's why we have a fire pit now.
It's
Okay.
it's also my 7th year at camp, and I remember in my first couple years, the outdoor kitchen that we had was not the outdoor kitchen we had now. We would go to the amphitheater. I don't know if you guys have been. We don't really go there much anymore because of mosquitoes. But the outdoor kitchen was the fire pit, and we would put things in tin foil and put it in the fire and just wait. So the best thing that we would make was bananas and cinnamon in tin foil, and then we would wait for it to cook and we would eat it. And muffins in a cup.
Which was a muffin, but in a cup.
Okay, Will.
I'm Will. This is my 8th year here. I swear, my first year, I came here. No aerial soaks, okay? Forget that all didn't happen. The ghosts of chickens didn't happen. I had to talk to people. Real people. Sorry. I'm done.
For me, this is my 9th year at camp, and I remember my first year, there was the old pine bathhouse, which was probably the worst bathhouse I've ever been in, because it's pretty much similar to all the other areas of bathhouse, but it was a little smaller, it was very dirty because we were all pine boys who didn't know how to take care of it. I also remember one time, some kids sprayed shaving cream everywhere, so for the entire 1 week, we were standing in shaving cream. And also, the sinks were all on the outside of the bathhouse. So you would always see in the morning just grown men walking out in just a towel to wash their hands, brush their teeth, and shave. And as a little pine kid, that was very traumatizing. I would take a shower and look down, and there'd just be a family of frogs at my feet. But yeah, so that's probably one of the biggest changes I've seen at camp. Now they just have the nicest bathhouse, but it's still very dirty.
Okay, so I mean, I want especially like the younger Mandarin Pine kids, like imagine in 5 years, or 4 years, when you guys are getting your 5-year boxes, when you guys are us, okay, and you're gonna be like, wow, I remember I was here for the first year of Pod C, of Pod D, and of Leap of Faith, and then I think that every year camp grows and something new is added, and I think that's a really amazing part because each year you're going to have new experiences to share.
Another thing that's so special about where we all come is the friendships that you make. The people standing here in the circle with guitars, and the people around it. Sorry, I can't control myself. I got it. Are some of the best friends I have. And the connections that you make here at camp are some of the most tight-knit, close that you will ever have. And I only see most of you 2 weeks, once a year, and I feel close to all of you. And these 2 weeks that I spend here at Camp Augusta are the most magical and fun-filled weeks of my entire year. And it's something that I look forward to every day. And even the night before camp, when none of us can sleep, and all we can do is Facebook chat each other about how we have not started packing yet. I know that these guys will always be my friends.
So last year, he's not here anymore, but last year we had a camper who talked about when he went home the summer before, and he talked about how he drove from here to Antioch, California. And there, he would stop at a Denny's. And he told us how he remembered the feeling when he bit into that Denny's pancake and a single tear shed from his face and he said, I miss camp food so much. And that is what we call the Denny's moment. Forever.
Yeah, so basically we're all going to share our Denny's moment, which is just a point in time where we've seen something or felt just an overwhelming blast of camp emotion, and it just goes everywhere, and it's awesome to have that moment because then you realize how special and wonderful and cool the place that you're in right now. So hopefully you all have your Denny's moment, but these are ours.
Okay, so my Denny's moment, it wasn't a pancake, but I remember my dad took me to In-N-Out. Okay, I'm at In-N-Out. They give me my soda cup. I'm gonna go fill up my soda. I walk up. I'm like, I want pink lemonade because pink lemonade tastes good. And I fill up my pink lemonade, and I look over, and there's this 12-year-old boy standing next to me. I'm 12 years old. I swear, I almost said hi to this kid. This random kid. I'd never seen him before in my life. I almost said, so what clinic you got today? You know how freaking that would have been? As I went back to my table, just all shaking, and my dad's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing.
My Denny's moment was a few weeks after camp last year. I was going with my parents to REI and I'm just kind of looking around. They were buying shoes or something. And so I'm looking around and I wander into the mountain climbing area and I just see a wall of pea cord. So I just see the wall of all these glorious different patterns of pea cord and I look down at my wrist, which still had all my bracelets from camp. And I'm able to match up each bracelet to the pea cord. I'm just thinking if I just got one of those spools, I could make so many different bracelets. And I could just show all my friends, look how many levels I got while I was
Okay, so my Denny's moment happened last year. It was about a week after our camp. I was hanging out with my friend painting, and she takes a look at my leg, and she's like, Becca, what happened to your leg? You have bruises and cuts and scabs and scratches. And I was like, camp happened. I'm not gonna lie, I actually started to cry a little bit because I missed how rough and awesome camp was and how nobody cared. And it was just such a magical place. And I started to cry, and I was like, why can't I go back there?
I remember before I came to camp, every morning my parents would ask me what I would want, and I would always want like pancakes or waffles or something special, and never like the oatmeal or something we had. And then when I went to camp, I learned that I actually really like oatmeal. And so the day I got back, like even before like saying hi to my parents, I was like, I want oatmeal. And, like, I remember just like sitting there like watching Looney Tunes or something on my kitchen floor and just like eating a bowl of oatmeal, and I was like, wow, I really wish I was at camp right now.
So my Denny's moment was I was in a mall in Washington, and I get in there and I just hit the button with my family and I'm just waiting around, and then Flicker, I kid you not, Flicker started playing in the elevator music. But I mean, like, of course it was the elevator, so it had the little rock. And I got sad. I got real sad. You know, like the tear that you get at the end of Toy Story 2. That was my day.
My moment always happens. I have my, when I look at my wood cookie on my wall from last year, and I always look at it and go on the Camp Augusta website on my computer just to look at pictures and stalk the profiles of all the counselors. Yeah, so that happens quite frequently.
My Denny's moment, every year after camp, a couple weeks after camp, my family goes on a couple-week trip to Idaho. It's really buggy in Idaho, so we always have to go to like a Target or whatever to get tons of bug spray. And I was just kind of walking down the aisle, and I looked over, and there's the Repel bug spray, the little one that is everywhere in camp. And I sat down on the ground, and I was like, oh my god. And I started crying in the middle of Target. And my mom was like, what are you doing? And I was like, So that's my Denny's moment. So last year, I left camp. My mom picked me up to drive back to the bay, and we stopped in Davis to get some snacks, and we walk in, and she says, okay, I'm gonna go get something to drink. You can go pick out some chips. So I go into the chip aisle, and there's just a wall of chips, and then I see the kettle chips. And I don't know what to do because I feel like I shouldn't go towards the salted party-sized kettle chips because there's only 2 of us. But I just felt like there wasn't any other choice. And so there are people walking by and I'm just taking forever looking at the chips and I just can't do it. So I sat down and I started to cry.
My Denny's moment was like a week after I came back from camp last year. I went to Walgreens or Rite Aid or one of those with my mom. And I was looking through the aisles and I come across the SunX sunscreen that they have here at camp, and they actually had like a pump bottle and like the little versions that I had never seen before because they're only the pump bottles, and I never use it, but it's always there, and it reminded me so much of camp that I just kind of stopped in my place and I couldn't like move or say anything because I just wanted to be back home so bad.
So my Denny's moment is after camp. During closing Campfire, what we're all doing now, I wore my red T-shirt, and then I came home, and then of course you change because that's the hygienic way to do it. And then like a week later, I cleaned my room, and I couldn't find my red shirt anywhere, and I was so sad, and I was just like, it was like my favorite shirt at that time. And I was just like waiting for it, and then one day, like 2 months later, I was cleaning my room again, and then under my bed, I see a little peak of red, and I find it, and then I grab it, and I can still smell the soot on the shirt, and then I started to cry just because it held all of these memories from session 2, closing Campfire, and I just sat down and cried, and then 2 hours later, my mom comes in, and I have all of my memorabilia scattered out on my bed, and I'm wearing this shirt now, and she's just like, I'll just leave you alone. This is the time, but now that is my Denny's moment.
So, one last thing, we just want to leave you guys with. We shared our Denny's moments, and they're precious to us because they remind us a lot of this camp, but the reason that they're precious is because of this camp. All the amazing, awesome, cool things that happen to you will affect you for the rest of your life and change you as a person, most likely for the better, but I don't know. But we just want to point this out to you, is that all of ours are different. All of ours have a little element of uniqueness. And that's another great thing that happens within camp, is that your Denny's moment will be yours, and you'll hold on to it forever. Literally forever. And this camp will affect you. And we just want you to be thankful for this, and to enjoy this, and to realize how awesome of a place you are in right now. And to always be like, I remember when that happened at camp, and feel that emotion, and feel that sadness or happiness. And to be proud that you are Augustus, and to be proud that you're having that Denny's moment. So think about that, and look forward to it.